too.
Wait, whose camera?
That
one
your
there?
camera. Yeah. Put that
Over
above Discord too.
there?
There we go. We'll make do with that. Let me.
Okay. Everybody,
It'll do.
We are soon going to have. There's so many guests. It's been such an exciting evening that I have half of all the Twitch streams. Absolutely, Blair does. I have no. I looked as if I froze then. I looked at myself on the computer going. That's what I do when I'm being interviewed and I don't want to answer a question. So Neil, what did you think of? Oh, grief. Where are we? Right, 46. 47. 47. Here we are. This is lovely. This is by Vex. So, have we got James coming on now?
He says he might be 15 minutes. Not 15.
15?
5 minutes late. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now, I'm going to sign this to freezing instead of no comment. Yes, exactly. It works the same way. I love this. This is the first image of the Dark Urge. It was pretty well created online. And Larry reposted it and all sorts. I think it's beautiful. So this is to Zan. Would it be Zan if it's Xan? Zan, because that would
Probably.
be a Z. Xylophone, Zan. Yeah, maybe. To Zan. I do apologise for my writing in this. It's terrible. To Zan, your performance was amazing. The Dark Urge is very dear to me, but I love the quote, "My power walks with you," alongside the signature. I'm going to do it in all sorts of different coloured pens. My power walks with you.
Until James joins, I'm really sorry to interrupt while you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
You could change it to a different
A different page.
A different scene, yeah.
Which one shall I press?
I think it's
starting.
one towards the bottom, maybe.
Signing.
Yes. That'll do.
Oh, are people being
You can see-
interviewed?
You can see a bit better now.
No, nothing. No one's being interviewed.
That's from earlier today.
Right. And we are then going to have. Which one are we then going to have? Is it that one, isn't it? Right. So that is pronounced as Zan. Thank you. My eyesight's too bad. Thank you very much. Went to school with a girl named Zan. Oh, sorry, I thought that was a limerick or something. You went to school with a girl named Zan, therefore you know how. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And a signature. Thank you for helping me say Zan. That's to Zan. Lovely. My power walks with you. Always at you. Oh, it says alongside the signature. I thought, always at your signature. I've forgotten how the Dark Urge speaks. Last time I was doing this, you said, does it hurt your voice? As well, it's not supposed to. It shouldn't if I do it properly. A limerick. I went to school with a girl. No. Chad. Finally. Oh, could you write a quote? Right, everybody. I have a list of quotes here. But why don't you tell me? So one of them is, ugh, I'm getting such a headache. I must resist the dark urge lest it consume my mind. Getting stuck with you isn't so bad. Have you ever had a chat with... oh, I can't read it. It's off the page. Can you read it, Blair?
Celeritas. The actor for Celeritas?
No, sadly I haven't. I don't know who it... I actually had a prolapse disc and very bad sciatica once. But I've never spoken to Selena.
Right, okay, I see where you were going with that.
Thank you. You got there in the end. No, it was very bad.
The coffin stopped.
It's quite... So, can you... Oh, grief. Where are we? Could you write a quote? Chad. Can you, Blair, read a quote out from someone?
A quote of...
Have you ever had a chat with the Dark Urge Butler?
That's hilarious.
Oh, is that the one with the hat and the whatever?
Yeah.
Yes. I know exactly who
goodness.
that is. Oh, Sean. Have you got Sean round? Barking, Blair?
No, that dog is nowhere near as good as Sean.
Chad, could you...
Also, I'm not entirely, like, thrilled on us calling Sean a dog.
No.
Just putting that one out there.
He played a dog.
Yeah, it doesn't make him a dog.
Well, it's... I do Dark Urges noises in my sleep, apparently. Anyway, quote, quick, before I get into trouble. Right, I'm going to think of a quote. You've all been too slow. Show doggy. Limerick time. Oh, very good. Very good main... I can't read things. Right, so getting stuck with you isn't so bad. Getting stuck with you. We had time to bring Scott on, didn't we?
Oh, we did. I'm gonna kill James.
Isn't
in
so?
Helldivers 2. James, if you ever see this, the headshot that I delivered in Helldivers 2 to your skull, it was accidental at the time, but I'm declaring it intentional now.
This is to Chad. Getting stuck with you isn't so bad.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. Life of Blue, do not tell James. Can't, don't you be telling James either. Mo, I see you as well. Do not be telling James.
Nostromo. Well, I think it has been a lovely evening, but I will be frank, it's been quite a surprise.
It's,
I genuinely thought from previous award ceremonies that Baldur's Gate would win more. And I think all games are brilliant, and I'm really thrilled. But I was just surprised, that was all. So this is to Nostromo. This beautiful, beautiful images. Oh, look, a blue tongue. Ah, blue tongue lizard.
he had too much slush.
Yes, do you find your
Neil,
tongue?
what's your favourite slush colour or flavour?
Oh gosh, that's a good question, isn't it? Slush. Hang on, I keep pressing the wrong button. Oh, we're getting there. Excellent. Slush colour. They turn your tongue a terrible colour. Coffee turns my tongue a terrible colour. Do you use a toothbrush on your tongue? Is this normal? Because I
have a tongue scrape.
You actually have a tongue scraper?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never heard of that. What do you do?
It's how do I explain what that? It's like kind of roundish, and then it has a stick, and then you scrape your tongue with it.
Thank you for that description.
Yeah.
I can picture it. In fairness, I have used a fish knife before. Okay. It takes off most of the layers of skin, but it does get rid of any discolouring from a slush. Cheese. I don't eat cheese anymore.
Why don't you just wait for the colouring to go?
Well, the trouble is, as an actor, especially when you're sort of doing close-up TV, last thing you want is some funny coloured tongue.
Okay, so don't have a slush when you need to be on camera.
It's everything.
All
it's
I
coffee,
can visualize
red wine.
is you like finishing a slushie, and then just like looking in the mirror and going,
Yep.
absolutely not.
Action. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, someone said cheese, brie, camembert. I like a lovely soft,
Cheese.
smelly cheese. Someone said, "What's your favourite cheese?" Last thing you want is to. You would think the last thing. Yeah.
Hello.
Blair is lecturing Neil. Oh, you. Who are you saying hello to?
James is finally joining us.
Excellent. How do I get James on?
Hello, hello.
Hello. How are we doing?
Click things until it works. James, are you going to be joining us on video, or is it just going to be voice? There we go.
Oh, that's a weird background. Well, I've got that as my background still. Yeah, that's it.
Right. Do you mind, James, if I put you live?
Hold on a second.
No, of course you can. That's absolutely fine.
James,
I'll
hello.
just keep
Who's in the background?
Hello.
Jutt's in the background.
That is my good American friend, Jutt. Last time I used Discord camera.
He looks very still.
Yeah. Well, he lives in Boston, and I live in Birmingham, in the UK. So, right. So we did a joke. We took a picture of him walking about his house while he left webcam on, and made our backgrounds it. And I didn't realise that was still my background. So that is it.
I think it's brilliant. It's nice of you both to join us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. How are you doing?
Well, it's always exciting. I had Scott on earlier, and all we had was his visuals, and he dressed up in a tux, so at least we got to see him. But there was no voice.
So I went for some hippie hoodie-like thing, aka the first thing I could find.
To be honest, I thought you were in your pajamas.
I mean, it's. I mean, yeah. I guess it's. I bought it from a mysterious shop.
A mysterious shop. Did they have
shop of curios?
Is it one of these? Does it have sort of witchy things and stuff?
Yeah, like incense, various sunglasses, which were fun to try on, and hoodies.
Sunglasses, hoodies, and incense.
And various magical stones and such.
Yeah, I love.
Very spiritual.
Yeah, I love. Did you get anything else? Did you get any stones or incense?
No, just the spiritual hoodie for now.
It's really lovely. I like it.
But next time maybe. How's the stream going? Is everyone having a good evening?
Yeah, unfortunately, the BAFTAs has finished.
It has just finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't know. We thought it would. Andrew Wincott did a very long acceptance speech. We were hoping it would take us up to 10 o'clock. But no one else spoke for any length of time at all. It was really quick.
That's surprising. Probably because they're scared of being played off.
Did you watch any of it?
I have been keeping up through Twitter. I've not had a chance to watch it. I was caring for the baby. So no. But I've seen who's won. I seen Baldur's Gate won Best Game, Music,
Yes.
Narrative.
Yes, narrative. They had a few of the writers up. I was on actually with Beth Park at the time, so we were
lovely Beth.
Yes, so we were really thrilled. It was nice watching with someone else who sort of created the game in some way, and to be able to sort of share that moment. But yeah, we were saying we're quite surprised. Well, I was surprised, to be frank, that Baldur's Gate didn't win more, purely because of all the wins they've had over the various seasons.
Yeah.
But do you play games? Have you played Baldur's Gate?
Oh yes, I'm currently. Let's see. I played Baldur's Gate when it came out. I got to the end of Act 1, and then, like, I was a bit burnt. I say burnt out. I was like, there's a lot of hours going into this game, so I've got to play. So I've got to pick my other backlog. But then about a few weeks ago, I've just continued my playthrough on stream. So we're currently getting through Act 2. We're at the Houses of Healing so far.
Oh, brilliant. Well,
yeah, I do play games.
Right.
So.
Have you played all those other games that were winning? Adam Wake 4 or whatever it was?
Alan Wake 2, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm thinking of the one I'm going to be a part of in a few years.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it. I deserve it. No, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2. I know the actor for Miles Morales won Best Actor. Yeah, most of the games that were kind of up for BAFTAs I've played. Yeah, I do spend a lot of time playing the old games. To be honest, it's a bit of a problem.
There's a
also-
lot of time. No, but there's yeah, why not? I mean, I'm sure all of us have that time, but we choose to do whatever. But it is time consuming, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yes, it is, and because my wife had a baby 3 months ago.
Oh,
And
congratulations!
thank you so much. No, that's very kind of you. And obviously, you know, time for gaming becomes a lot less.
I was gonna say, I'm impressed that you're
I'm a-
even still gaming.
It's in like hour bursts when the baby's sleeping.
Is it
I'm
during
like, "Gotta get
during the
this
night
done."
when you've got you feed you're trying to
Yeah.
rock the baby to sleep while you're playing Baldur's Gate?
Very much so. It's most of my night playing consists of Helldivers 2 at the moment, and I get most of my gaming done now when I'm streaming it, because I like to do streams in the week, so that's usually my time to get through as much as I can.
So you do
Speed
streams
run it.
during the week. Why? Because you're only on baby duty at weekends.
Oh, absolutely not. It's just we can get babysitting on
Oh, I
certain days of the week,
see.
so it's more you know, easier that way.
Ah, how brilliant! That's very
But also-
exciting for you. What a change of life.
I know. Yeah, it's weird because like it's just a massive change overnight, and my wife has done so well with it because obviously she's been through it more than me, and that's you know, obviously. So so I'm really quite proud of her, and also
You
know,
are
it's
going to
just-
get very
yeah.
good brownie points for saying all of that. You are obviously quite right, but
It's
it is-
true, yeah.
Yeah.
She deserves it,
course.
even if I am a bit of a fun dad, but oh well. But yeah, and also Neil, it's a pleasure to meet you as well because obviously you are the Dirge, the Dark Urge, the Urge of Darkness.
Well, I was trying to get a petition up for BAFTAs to do best monologue. In
I
the hope
think
that
you
the
would
Dark
have won
Urge.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you're very kind. I certainly would have voted for myself, but I mean,
Really? Are you sure?
are you allowed to do that?
I'm sure the board would let it slide. Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah,
He's good. Let him vote.
I think it was the Golden Joysticks when they said, "Can you suggest any other awards that we should have that we're missing?" And I did write to them and said best monologue,
Best monologue, guys.
but
Come on.
I didn't get a response. But we'll see next year.
They'll regret not responding to that. message.
So, have you got any other games coming out soon that you are allowed to tell us about?
Well, I don't know if you're in this as well, Neil, but Iyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is out. at
Can
the
you
end of
tell
this
me how to
month.
say it? Because I know how to spell it, but I keep forgetting how to say it.
I say Iyuden Chronicle. Iyuden.
Is that?
Iyuden.
But is that the way you're supposed to say it?
I think so.
Excellent. What are you playing in that?
I am the voice of Euphorius, the shark.
The
Blair's,
shark!
corrected me. Yeah, I'm the
I've
voice
seen
of the
that. That's
shark.
been on. They've their Twitter and their Insta have been pushing that out. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the shark. I love him. He's my baby boy, but I'm also the voice of Hogan, a lizard man,
Great.
Cabana, a capybara man, Maxim, your average human, and Euthus, some feisty teenage bandit. So it was an amazing experience, and again, being directed by Beth, who was on here
Yeah.
earlier, it was fantastic amongst with the other directors. It's great. How about you?
You are really impressive that you can do that many voices. You just get what you well, you just have me. I don't do 15 different voices and the thing. It's always just a little bit of me.
Not yet, Neil. Not yet.
I'll have to get some coaching from you. That's very impressive. I am in Iyuden Chronicles.
Oh, good.
I play squash.
Oh, the Birdman.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll drink to that. Amazing.
And another character which I can't remember how to say it. Celerus Belarus or something.
Blair. We're waiting for Blair to come in with the correction. It's actually pronounced Belarius.
Oh, do you
That's
know
great
it?
then, Neil. I know the character name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's officially on our IMDb now. To be fair, I think.
Yes, it is. It's the only reason
stated.
I'm talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I said I was like, well, it's free. It's free game then, guys. It's free game.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got a text from one of my older sons who said, you are the first stream to come up when I searched BAFTA. It was the BAFTA channel, then you.
Congratulations,
Blair!
Blair's
Is Blair gone?
No, Blair's still
What?
here.
Hi? What? Huh?
Blair, Blair.
I know it's
Hello.
late, Blair. You're going to sleep. I'm really hot. I'm going to have to take my top off in a minute.
Hey,
Um,
yeah, do it.
Jacket, no,
Do
the
it.
jacket.
Do it.
It's a real sort of, it's a what's it jacket. It's velveteen or whatever.
Oh. Neil's velvet jacket's on, everybody.
It
Not
says,
for long.
yeah, it says you're the first stream to come up when I searched BAFTA. It was the BAFTA
amazing.
channel, and then it was this stream.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's good. That's really good. Are you getting fat followers
amazing.
coming through, Neil?
I
Neil's
am
got mad
I'm
followers now.
roasting. Well, I apologise. That'll be the end of my career.
Yeah.
The first stream that comes up after BAFTA.
We're cancelling Neil.
Yeah, exactly.
Revealing himself on stream. It's TOS, guys. It's TOS.
So,
Stream. Sorry.
so what are the different voices then that you have in that singled? How do you single them all out within Baldur's Gate?
Well, so I came onto Baldur's Gate quite late. I think it was
really?
it was May last year. It was very close.
No.
Was it May or March? One of the ends.
That was the last couple of months.
Yeah. I think it was. I'm going to say March because it's probably just a bit the right distance. So yeah, I was brought because I honestly thought I'd missed the boat for the game, which obviously I was like, that's not fair. But at that point, I'm still am, working my way through, joining different companies and such and projects. And I auditioned for what I believe went on to become the Dream Visitor. I think Ethan's character, who he plays. So I auditioned for that character, and then I got a message saying we'd like to come in for some NPC characters. So I was like, cool. I didn't know how many there'd be or who they'd be. It was just like, come in. So so we get there, and so they bring this list of characters. They're like very brief description, like he's a gnome. He works in real estate. He's not very nice, or they're a fancy cat, or you're an undead servant. And obviously, when we went through, because it was all motion capture, we sat in the room, and then they'd kind of give me like kind of a posture to go with, and then we'd think about how the voice would work with that posture. So, for Roger Gherkins, he was like this little he's a halfling or a gnome, but he's the real estate one. And they were like, he cares about his job above all else, and he has no real care for anybody's interest but his own. So I was like, maybe he should be a little bit more, times are grim, I know, but I don't care, because the best time to sell houses is when things are going very badly for everyone. So I was like, okay, yeah, that works. And then
That's
they were
brilliant.
Like, oh, thanks.
No, if I wasn't looking at you, I had no idea. That was quite brilliant. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
And then no, don't apologise at all. That's very kind of you. And then like for Tambourine the cat, it was like voicing a cat, because I have a cat myself, and I do love cats. And I was like, what voice do I do? And they're like, well, this cat's used to getting what he wants, and then like it starts with hello, like hello. He calls the characters servant tapes, and when we worked into it, me and the director Tom at the time, to put a meow into the hello, so it was like a servant tape. Will you kill those rats, please? So that was the voice that kind of come from that. And then there's the other character who's Berg Droger, who's a bit less nice. I think he's part of Shadow Heart's storyline. And he was close to my voice, but a bit more stern. So he was like, oh, I just lost a wager, thanks to you. So it was really fun getting to kind of just play with different voices. And I'm the kind of person who can find new voices when working with people better than when I'm doing just, self-directed auditions, because I know directors can approach them a different angle and be like, try that, and I'm like, actually, yeah, that's something new. So that was kind of how it all went, really, with the 21 characters. It was just a lot of good direction and making sure nothing was too similar to the other characters, which is no matter how big the game is, there was still a chance for characters to sound similar. The easiest character was one who just grunts. He just goes, that was the cheese line. That was one of, I think he was like Grundlegorn or something like that. His only line was so that was weirdly wasn't a one take recording. So
I'm really impressed by you. The different quality, etc. The control you have.
I get to accept that as a personal skill. So it's very kind of you to say that now. Very kind of you.
No, hugely impressive. Goodness.
But no, let me ask you a question about the Dark Urge. So how did how did that come about? And what was the dealio with that?
Well, the Dark Urge is voiced by all the tabs at different points, and so we have been doing that for some time anyway. And there was a a different sort of, I guess, a richness to the voice and something animalistic, etc. However, I was purely in one day, and they said that they wanted me to do that monologue. And so we spent some time working through it. But the person who had written that, Baudelaire Welsh,
Great name.
they had a choice apparently, and they chose me. So I'm really, really flattered. And I think it's all right telling people that. So I was flattered that they.
You did it, so of course.
But I was flattered that they chose me, and what we really were trying to work on, though, and I think what's important about that monologue, is the confusion and the sadness, the pain of not knowing who they are, but you have an urge of being whatever it might be, as opposed as opposed to just being this violent whatever, actually. Having that depth behind it and that confusion of, do I want to go and do this, do I not? And you imagine if I don't know, you wake up from some accident or something and you don't know who you are, but you sort of have these thoughts. And in fairness, with ADHD, I have all sorts of random thoughts all the time anyway. So I don't know if that helped get it.
I think I'm the same. I haven't been diagnosed, but people have hinted that there may be some ADHD going on with me as well. So
oh, really?
I understand that.
There seems to be a huge amount within the game, and maybe, in fairness, there's an awful lot of actors who are neurodivergent.
That's also very true.
And I am, I think that there's an awful lot of the sort of things that we have to do as actors. It probably really, really helps.
No, I
there are some probably
agree,
negative things. With me, sort of anxiety and stuff is rather negative, but I'm sure that an awful lot of the impetuousness and those sorts of things that you have with ADHD can really aid the spontaneity and stuff, I hope. So
I think it's working for you so far, Neil.
Not the last 2 hours.
You've made it this far, Neil. I'm just fine.
Yeah, we've Sorry.
No, okay. I was just going to quickly say how, about the Dark Urge. I respect that you obviously how you described it, how there's a lot more depth to it than just being this I'm a killer. I liked how you go into the confusion and the almost it's almost they are two separate characters. You've got the aware Dark Urge, who is just this person who is struggling with their amnesia, and then you have the vicious murderer within, or whatever else they do, the killer within. So I just really liked hearing you describe it. It was very, very insightful. Now.
Well, I saw an interview with Baudelaire, and they were talking about the fun that people can have with that character, where they can, I think, not necessarily now, but in the olden days with games, you'd either have a bad character, you just do bad things, or you have a good character.
Yeah, that's
the
very true.
fact that you have a choice, and you can go, deep within the urge, or you can resist. And I know that Bo explained it by you can have the fun of. And I know, it's a funny word to use when you're thinking about the darkness of it. But I think it's absolutely right. I read something recently. Is it? I've forgotten the game. Really well-known one. It was on the tip of my tongue and it has vanished. But in the olden days, you could only do one thing, which was destroy everything. And they're now bringing out a new version, and it's actually not this game, and the game I'm talking about. No, it's not coming. Anyway, but they're bringing a new one out where you have more choice. And I think that obviously there's better graphics and better storytelling now than maybe previously, and I think that maybe there's that depth that people want.
Absolutely, yeah. People like to be, conflicted.
People tell me they have played the Dark Urge many times, and I think also what is exciting that they have a different story every time they play it, and even different scenes and all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to it. It's very much. What I love about Baldur's Gate is that's just so many things you can miss but also find it's ripe for replays if you have the time to play through it.
Well, Blair is going to help me stream, and
Good.
hopefully people like you and the people on chat can guide me.
I will always be there for you, Neil. I'll always be there to help.
Always at your side.
As long as you like real estate, of course.
Oh, you are brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
In fact, we do have Ethan about to come on.
Ethan awaits.
So I really appreciate you joining. Thank you.
No, of course. Sorry, I was a bit late. I was just doing baby things, but obviously, I'd love to chat with you more very soon.
Hey, you have.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thrilled that you've managed time and you've managed to come on. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
We
It's
will
been an
catch
absolute
up
pleasure.
and talk soon.
Yes.
You guys
thank
should definitely do a collab when Neil starts streaming Baldur's Gate.
I will, 100%.
I need all the help I can get.
I'm there, day one.
Because I don't think I can
Day
do it all
one.
myself, man. I need the backup.
Yeah. I will give him my best, worst advice.
Thank you. Yeah,
No,
and if
thank you so
in
much.
any doubt, you just pretend the baby's crying and run away.
Oh, sorry, Neil. Fatherly duties also. Good luck.
Congratulations. Really thrilled for you. Enjoy.
Oh, thank you very much.
Enjoy
Yes,
and relish being a daddy.
Yes, I shall. I am.
Good.
Thank you very much, and enjoy chatting to Ethan himself.
I will. Thank you, lovely. You take care.
Thank you so much. Bye, Neil. Bye.
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 How do I get out of here? Oh,
I've turned you off, but I have no idea how you... Oh, you've gone. No, voices.
I'm still here.
Voices!
There's a
I'm
ghost.
still here.
Do I need to kick you? You don't know how to leave a Discord call.
No, I know what I'm doing, Blair.
You know more than me.
I just don't want to leave. I just like it here. Right,
I'm
I'm
getting all sorts of
Have-
So
messages.
does he.
Neil, put your shirt back on. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 sweeps BAFTA Game Awards with 5 wins, including Best Game. Way too many clips for me to track, but you may have made one of them.
Ethan, you look a bit like Where's Wally
cannot
at the
hear
minute.
you.
Oh no.
Oh!
An excellent entrance.
Oh, bugger, I pressed the
He
wrong
looks
button.
like Where's Wally. I'm glad he can't hear that.
Ethan!
He can't hear us. Hold on.
Oh. Technology lets us down again. I do need to sign a couple of these
technical
prints.
difficulties.
He's God, all these actors have got great voices, haven't they? No wonder they're doing voice work.
I was gonna say it's like the voice actors.
Well, I don't think of myself as one. So paid my... Anyway, while you're doing technical stuff, I'm going to sign this. This is by Shade of Stars. It's absolutely beautiful. Ethan's looking... So we can hear Ethan, but Ethan can't hear us. Is that right?
Correct.
Great. So before we had Scott, who could hear us but couldn't speak. And now we have Ethan, who
Oh no.
can't
Here,
hear
no,
us
we
but
will
can speak.
See it.
I can hear you now.
You were pretending, weren't you?
You've caught me. I'm a silly actor.
Yeah, you looked frozen. I'm really sweaty. Anyway,
I'm really sweaty. It's a sweaty day.
we walked earlier, and I was shocked at how hot it was. In the end, I took my coat off and my jumper. I had them both tied around my waist. You know, when you feel really foolish when you do that, flapping around.
That is an understandable look. I think it was big in the 2000s. I think that's the only time it was ever a promoted look.
Well, yes, I was going to say it wasn't a fashion statement. It was just a sweaty walk statement.
Aye, it's been a compromise ever since.
Anyway, it's really lovely of you to join. I was actually, Blair and I had worked out the timings of the BAFTAs, and we were under the impression it would finish about 10:30. So, unfortunately, it finished about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, this is what happens when Baldur's Gate sweeps it, you know.
Well, everyone's like, right, just go home.
The speeches weren't very long. Normally, they're really long, and in between the trailers. I mean, when we watched, what was it? Was it the joystick or the something? The something we watched, where it went on all that. No one was allowed to speak for very long. They were just all trailers and stuff, which were wonderful. But
Game Awards.
I think they've been paranoid about speech times ever since.
Yeah.
I think in particular there was God of War that won an award, and I think quite famously the speech was incredible, but it wasn't so much an expectant speech, more a soliloquy.
Ah, well, Andrew Wincott tried to keep up with that. Did you watch it?
I have just got back from the Science Museum.
Oh, why were you there?
I took my goddaughter to the Science Museum today.
Oh, brilliant! In London.
Yes,
Yeah,
in London.
As opposed to, I don't know, Bognor Regis or something.
Yeah, as opposed to Stoke-on-Trent has an excellent science museum. I think you'll find.
In fairness, they may well do. And we should not Bognor Regis because they do Butlins. Anyway, let's forget all that.
That's a free game.
Tell me. We just had James on, who said he auditioned for the Dream Doodah and didn't get it, and you got it, but he got 48 other characters.
Oh, that's not bad going.
I know, exactly. So I think it's quite a big win for him, actually.
Lucky bastard, yeah.
So, it says, please drink some more water, people. Okay. Have you got water in there? Cup of tea?
I have a cup of coffee.
Trying to keep you up. Good. So, anyway, Ethan, tell us about your involvement in Baldur's Gate.
Oh my goodness!
Are you
my involvement in
peckish?
Baldur's Gate. I always have a banana to hand because you never know.
You know what?
never know.
I'm not sure if people realise this. In a recording studio, I always have an apple, and I'm not quite sure what it is. It does something to your mouth. Yeah, I don't juggle an apple. It does something to your it does something to your mouth when you get a bit dry. You know, when you can start going.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so you have an apple, and there's something in it that actually clears all that clog.
Because it's watery, it doesn't kind of coagulate. Whereas I think a banana would be the worst fruit you could eat.
Well, what I always feel terrible is in between takes and stuff, I have a little drink of water or maybe have a little nibble of an apple or banana. But they leave your microphone on.
Yeah, you can hear
All they
everything.
can hear is you going, or going,
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
and you can hear it through your own headset.
Yeah, it's bad enough when you're doing the lines and you pause between a sentence to give them a clean cut, and you can just hear your lips slapping together as you. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Fortunately, they have the ability to edit that out. Otherwise, you imagine all the games with slapping lips.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. ASMR is ASMR by accident, by lack of choice. Non-elected ASMR.
So how do you
but yes.
feel now being part of a BAFTA-winning game?
It's really cool, isn't it? I graduated drama school the year that I think at the end of I was out of drama school for about 5 months when I auditioned for Baldur's Gate,
Oh, wow.
and then didn't hear anything for 2 months. So obviously, just if you don't hear from it, you haven't got it.
Yeah.
So then 2 months later, I got a thing being like, "Oh, you got a recall for that sword fighting knight thing you auditioned for." And at the time, I was like, "Thank goodness," because I think everything I was auditioning for was very actor muso based, very
Right.
musical based, and I love that stuff. But
You play an instrument, do you?
I play lots of instruments. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
you clever man.
yeah. It's probably the thing. I love music. I just love music. I love playing music. I'm in a load of bands. I have loads of fun with it. But Baldur's Gate was the first thing that wasn't music related I auditioned to out of drama school. Got this text through that was this night, and they sent me a brief, and it was the most ambiguous brief ever. It was just, you're playing The Witcher / Aragorn / Boromir / Kratos kind of / and it was just every kind of positive masculine role model ever. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what you're asking me to do, but I'll pick one of them and I'll do that.
So is this for the audition?
Yeah. They sent me
Wow.
the character breakdown.
Yeah.
It was really vague. And I remember I was in the rehearsal room for a Christmas panto. We were doing Robin Hood, but from the perspective of Maid Marian. And so we had loads of like swords around.
Yeah.
So I went to a room and I got the sword and I went, I've got 3 lines. I'm really going to milk it. And I choreographed a huge fight scene between each line. Yeah.
Oh, you are brilliant.
Against invisible opponents. And so there's a scene in the game where the Guardian says, I have to go back to the battle. I will be back. And in the audition, I did that scene. And it was just me like slaughtering orcs and then going, I'll be right back. And then sprinting off with my sword. And then I got recalled.
Did you know it was mocap?
Yes.
Right.
I asked my agent, I was like, is this mocap? Because I did a mocap short course at my drama school.
Oh, right.
And I loved it. I grew up on video games. Yeah. So the idea of being in them was just a dream. So here comes this audition for a video game that's doing mocap. So I was like, I'm going for it. So I did all the stage combat thinking that kind of like shows off that I've got that on my CV. Got the recall 2 months later. Went along. It was the same scenes, but I got in the suit. It was Pit Stop Studios, but no one was in apart from the one person I was auditioning with.
Yeah.
So it's abandoned, and you're kind of sat in the waiting area. I looked around at all the posters of all the different games that company had made. And I went, well, I don't think I'm in F1. And I don't think they have swords in their scenes. So I kind of sussed that it's like the kind of RPG fantasy setting. Had nothing occurred to me that it could be Baldur's Gate. And then did the recall, exact same scenes, just straight down the camera. I'd learnt my lines because I didn't know you didn't have to for mocap. So I was off book.
Oh, brilliant. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, I was like,
and at this point, was it more than 3 lines?
Oh, it was about 4 or 5.
You're up all night learning them.
Oh, I knew them inside out. So did the recall. The guy was like, cool, well done. Shook my hand. I set off. I really try when I leave auditions, if I'm feeling good, I put that energy into something else so that if I don't get the job, I've like used that good energy.
Oh, wow. You are wise.
And I mean, I think I'd have already quit if, you know what I mean? It is just such a gut punch when you really get excited for something.
Yeah.
But so I went away. About a month later, my agent was like, cool, they want you for it. And I was like, cool, what is it? And they were like, they'll tell you about it when you turn up. So I went to my first session, directed by the wonderful Beth Park. And she went, do you know what Baldur's Gate is? And I went, no. And she went, do you know what Dungeons and Dragons is? And I said, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was about 14.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
We are in my ballpark. I'm like, is this? And she was like, you're in, kid. You're in the Dungeons and Dragons
That must be so
game.
exciting.
It from then on, it was just easily the best experience I've had since drama school. Like, it was just incredible at every turn. The team at Pit Stop were amazing.
They are
amazing. They made me feel so comfortable. I didn't feel. I just felt so at ease. Like it was both like just going to work. Like I wasn't nervous or scared for it, but I also felt able to like creatively express myself.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and the directors they got in were amazing. And I met amazing people through it. It was so funny.
You say that though, because they sometimes it's quite prescriptive when you're acting, and you are not given that freedom to discuss and create. But in fairness, from the Larian were extraordinary in that they took a lot of, because they were created. Lots of games where they had the voices at the end. Yeah. On top of everything's created, and they put the voices on top. And what Larian were doing was creating the game as they had the voice, using the actors. And so they took people's personalities in those voices that they were giving them, and they were introducing them into the characters. And they were changing the characters depending on what the actors were actually delivering. And I only done a handful of games, but I've never experienced that before. So it's not, not just Pit Stop, it's the fact that Larian, from their perspective, the whole narrative and story and dialogue that we're given was changing and fluid. And I think that is commendable and extraordinary. And I'm sure that sort of attitude has helped create something that is so special.
Yeah, and so important in a world where we're kind of trying to navigate how AI is going to come into this industry. So important to be flexible and really lean into the human element of the creativity, really lean into the collaboration, which is something that AI can't do yet.
That is
So
very true. Yes.
yeah, so like there's quite a few things about Baldur's Gate, which in hindsight are probably the reason I'm most proud of it. But I think the game really excelled in those areas you're talking about, and also the way there's quite a lot of things about the game I think it gets really, really right. But one of them is that creative, collaborative process, which is much more like theatre. It's like working with the writer in the room in a rehearsal process. They take what you give and they do it with you and they collaborate with you, which is my foundation was in theatre, so that was a joy.
It's really Andrew Wincott said that in his he won a BAFTA for supporting actor, and they were saying that this was more like theatre, not just the character, but the whole essence of it was. And again, Andrew is from that sort of background and really relished that too.
Yeah, no, and the I felt that with the directors as well. There was this sense of it was very playful, a very playful process, which is exactly the way I like to work. I kind of want to be able to feel like I'm safe to get one really wrong, because that also gives me the confidence and the possibility to get one really right.
I apologise. I also have to sign some things. And the only reason is because when we did some signing for Streamily a few days ago, I talked so much I didn't get through any pictures. So I've been trying to do this, so I apologise. This is to Gidget. This actually doesn't have a name, but what they wanted was on the back of it, I need to write about how I see the... What? There's many Dirge and Gortash interpretations, so I'm curious about yours. If you have time, I'd love if you could write about how you see their bond on the back. I will do that another time because I've been telling people that I haven't played the game and I don't remember my dialogue. And so the idea is to play it soon.
Right.
I've tried to play it and I'm useless is what it is, so I need help.
I don't just think it will be your a issue with being useless. That game is so expansive and deep. I mean, I've grown up on video games and grown up on D&D, and I played, I think, about like 8 hours of it on stream, and I've gotten about 20 minutes into the game.
Brilliant. Yeah, I've done 15.
So
I've done 15 hours, and I haven't left that ship yet. So this is to. It doesn't say. Pave my path with corpses, build my castle with bones. But yes, I'm going to have to Google the Durgtash. Is it Durgtash or Gordurge?
Is it Gortash?
It's
I want to say
Durgtash.
Gortash.
Durgtash.
The ship name.
Ship name, yes, indeedy. I was in a TV series called Emmerdale and they had a ship name and I'd never heard of it before. There was this relationship with me and someone else. I said, that's very rude. Why are they giving me a ship name? And then I realised what it was.
Yeah, and a quick Google later and you realised it was the best thing that ever
was
happened.
A positive indeed. I was thrilled. Wow,
Yeah.
I made it. I've got a ship name. Ship name.
also
Tell us some more, Ethan, while I duck down here and sign to Charlotte.
Okay. The thing that I found the hardest about the performance in Baldur's Gate is all of your lines were recorded out of order. So there are scenes where there is a paragraph made up of 3 sentences, and the first sentence is a take from my first day on the job. The second sentence was from my last day on the job, and the third sentence I can't place it. It's somewhere in the middle of that process.
But you remember when you recorded it?
Yeah, but like in my body,
Wow.
I'm kind of like, whoa. Like I can really feel the difference, because I think in the beginning of recording, I was really holding on to archetype and really placing it in my body. And the more I got comfortable, the more I had an idea of who this character was, and so I didn't need those landmarks so much. And it kind of softened. It became less hard edges of character.
Interesting.
But you do them all out of order, and I found that especially hard when recording a paragraph of text. Every now and then, the director would say, these next 3 lines run together, and I'd have the time of my life, because I love a long bit of text where I can really flow through it and really connect those thoughts.
Well, you know what? It's funny you should say that. The monologue of the Dark Urge, because I agree, it was all sort of sentence at a time, or a couple of sentences. And the monologue of the Dark Urge, we did two. One was much longer than the other. I think they used the shorter one in the end, but it was all this dialogue, but it's all on different lines. So I actually said, "Do you want me to do this by each line at a time?" And they said, "Oh, do whatever you want." So I then had to say, "Is it actually all going to be used as one?" "Oh yeah, it's a monologue." So I thought, well, I don't want to do each line separately then, do I? Because yeah, I start the next one, they're a completely different energy if I do the first one 3 times. So but it is unusual in that it is done as a whole speech. And an awful lot of the stuff that I did were these single little pieces, maybe 2-3 sentences. But as you said, it was sort of all these different chunks. And I was never sure if they would put them together at the end, as in you would hear them when they're, what you were saying then, that put together, or whether they would just all actually individual, used just at random different places.
I definitely felt that in some of the, especially because the Guardians scenes were all about the relationship with the player. Everything was about the player. So it was really hard when I have an objective of, okay, I know I'm lying, I'm manipulating here, or my tactic is to romance, my tactic is to patronize, or whatever it is. It was really hard to really play that objective through when you couldn't follow the whole scene through, so you couldn't kind of feel if it was working or not. That it was hard to respond.
But I will be honest, I've done a lot of TV and film. And although you will film it in situ, invariably the camera is pointing at you. You'd have your wider shot, and then you do a close-up, and then they turn it around, you do your long shot, and you whatever. And you never know how they're going to edit it and put it together. So ultimately, your performance, you have to trust, is I guess what it is. You have to trust that those people doing the technical aspect, the editing, the director, all those people in that booth afterwards, and even on set though, know where it's going to go, and then in the technical stuff afterwards, that they put it together and you trust that they will do that. The first TV I ever did, they put a few of my lines the other way around. So we'd filmed it in this order, and you just think, from my point of view, that doesn't make any sense, because that wasn't my thought process. But obviously there's something where they're thinking, this tells the story that we want to tell, or that scene, the story in that scene, it tells it much better. That's why we're making these choices. But ultimately, as an actor, you are in control of a very tiny part of it. And maybe on a stage, you're in a bit more control. But again, it's collaborative, and you just have to trust, even if you sort of give them something, voice, TV, whatever it might be, you have to throw it out there and someone else will put it all together, and you have to trust that they can make it work.
Yeah.
I did it.
And
Sorry, go on.
No, please.
No, please, because I need a sign.
But exactly on that matter, I've always, the way I kind of process and understand that is that in theatre, you are the painter. You've been given the paint by the writer. The director has told you what they want on the canvas, but it's up to you to decide its texture. If it's aggressive, if it's soft, you decide its tone. And in screen, you actually are providing the paint.
Oh,
and then the editor and the director decide how to texture and how to put it together. So they're not only different, people always say they're very different jobs. But I think they are fundamentally, you have a different responsibility. I think in screen, I would personally, I have very little experience in screen. I'm sure with more experience, my philosophy on it will change. But I would always want to give a far greater variety of offers so that they have a greater range of palette to choose from. Whereas in theatre, I really enjoy kind of like studying I know what I've got here, I know what I want. And I will listen and be fresh every night if I can. It is
really interesting. You still have to be spontaneous and fresh. And I think it depends on the medium. I haven't done a huge amount of film. The film I've done, though, there's some projects where you can as long as it's fresh and you're in the moment and it's real, you can do anything and you can mix it up and change it. There are many things, though, because of continuity, where if you do that, it messes up something else, as in the other person opposite or some technical whatever. And so, yeah, it's you try and keep it fresh and do it different every time, but there are certain limitations, and in some projects there's more limitations than others. Tapuki K, and look, wanted a little doodle, a terrible doodle of the dirge. Does that look like the Dark Urge? My doodles are getting worse.
I tell you what, that is scarier than the Dark Urge.
Brilliant.
If
And
you
this
wake up
is
in the
to
night
Charlotte.
and that's at the end of your bed,
Yeah,
I'm surrendering to that quicker.
So, are there some things about to come out soon that you
Musically?
can talk? Well, you can talk about.
So,
As in,
acting-wise,
there's not NDAs, is what I mean.
yeah, of course. Acting's been very slow. I think Baldur's Gate is probably the only thing on my CV that's really kind of opening doors for me, and that's only in the voice world. But I'm still like knocking on doors, still really pushing for it. But the way I'm kind of like ratifying and wrestling with that is that I'm putting more of my effort into what I can control. So I'm in 3 bands and I'm really pushing the music.
Really,
at the
what
moment.
sort of music is it?
I'm in a jazz band.
Oh wow! Playing what?
The jazz band's really. I play bass and guitar in the jazz band.
Oh,
Not at the same
wonderful.
time, but that's really fun. It's really kind of like upbeat, modern, kind of shouty jazz.
Is it? I know you will think this is absolutely ludicrous thing to say. Oh, I shouldn't show me armpits off, should I? I watched Soul the other day on Disney. Have you seen it?
Great film.
Yeah. Do
The
you
music.
do you do jazz and get taken away to the whatever land? What was that land where they're?
Yeah, it's the other place.
Yes,
It's like in Ratatouille when they eat the food and they see fireworks.
absolutely.
I don't experience that when I'm playing bass because I'm just I feel like I've got such a job of like holding down the groove. Like me and the drummer are the bedrock, so that everyone else can go to that special world.
Right.
But I feel that way when I play piano, definitely, and that's why I enjoy piano so much. I think.
Interesting. Do you think a different instrument off? Because I know in Soul, for instance, the character is. But I don't have many people who've seen Soul, but the character is playing the piano in that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it is an instrument that invites that more? Then does it have more freedom or something?
I think it's less to do with the instrument. I think it's more the player.
Right.
In the same way that Jimi Hendrix clearly found that connection with his guitar.
Yeah.
He was speaking from that place on Little Wing. And I've got friends who are in my bands that play their guitar, and that's what it does to them. Whereas for me, if I really want to play music to kind of get in touch with how I'm feeling,
Yeah.
I sit at the piano and sing with the piano. And that really kind of shows me where I'm at. Whereas when I'm playing guitar or bass, I'm normally playing. The other bands I'm in are punk and grunge and much more loud and sweaty.
That's absolutely brilliant. I pretended I was in a band when I was in secondary school. My brothers are in a band. One of them played the bass and one of them played the drums. And so I borrowed my brother's bass guitar and joined a band. But I could play one tune. Let me think. Dum 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 dum. It was some heavy metal thing. Name that tune.
Off of those 5 notes. Yeah.
And it was yeah, but all so we turned up and the other people were quite capable, so they were all trying to do different songs every time, and no, I can only do this one. And in the end I had the guitarist behind me playing my bass guitar, and then I found acting.
And I just had to learn the words for this.
Exactly.
I can already speak.
Someone just said, what's the name of your jazz band?
The jazz band is called Defending Charlie, and we're haven't got anything recorded yet because it only started rehearsing
Last
a couple months
week.
ago. Very recently. But it's called Defending Charlie because 2 of the players are called Charlie.
Ray, are you going to change your name?
I'm working on it. The band's name or my name. I'm happy for either.
Here, this is. I was writing a quote and I got it wrong. Yearns to sleep. It's supposed to be yearns to reap love in this world. I think I'm getting tired.
The subliminal energy is coming through.
Ah, goodness. Yes.
But most of what I'm working on at the moment is music. I also write. I write short stories and plays and stuff like that. And I've got a friend who runs a writers group, so I'm like working on that quite a lot. But mostly the tunes.
That's really interesting. What are you you say you're doing plays?
Yeah, I write. I'm working on a play and a short film, and whichever one gets finished first, I'll produce first.
That's really impressive.
The ambition would be take it to the kind of the pub theatre scene in London, and then get it put on at the Southwark. That would be my ambition for the play. And the film is a feature, but I'm going to take 3 scenes from it, make a short film myself, and then take that to publishing companies and producers and say, look, I know what I'm doing. Just give me the rest of the money.
I have produced a lot of short films, actually. There's a real joy in it. I'm going to rip it. Oh, I don't want to rip this up. Poor Red, he's going to go, what are you doing? I can't send it to him. My ruined body yearns to sleep. This is to Erin. My ruined body yearns to reap love in this world. Which was from I think I did a Valentine's post where I changed all the words to love things, you see. I love the idea. You know, the dark urge is actually, I think it began with kiss, kiss, and kiss again instead of kill, kill, and kill again. And I posted it, and Sven, who runs Larian, said, oh, actor's gone off piste or something. This one is to... grief. Claude. The quote was, behold the dance of death. There you go, it's a new one. I didn't know that was a Dark Urge quote.
I really wanted to do a Dark Urge run for my first playthrough. The supervillain in me.
Well, are you going to do it as another one then, maybe another time?
Yeah, 100%. All of my friends that played it. Probably the best thing about being in Baldur's Gate for me was all of my friends from back home that I used to play D&D with all reached back out saying, there is no way you are the Ethan Reed in Baldur's Gate.
Really?
Yeah, I got messages from people I went to primary school with saying, that's you, right? That's you. You actually went... Because in primary school, I'd said I wanted to be an actor, and everyone was just kind of like, yeah, right, mate. And so I got messages from people saying, you actually went and did it.
So how did they know? Did they see the credits at the end? Did they get that far, or did they see tweets or something?
They either saw the credits, or they went and looked up who played it.
So if they saw the credits, do you think your mother told them all?
She is running a lot of publicity for me. She is down the hairdressers every week, just spouting. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hang on. This says, from Fluffy, please do not put this anywhere on the print. Does that mean I don't write Fluffy on it? Because it's obviously not going to be off the print, is it?
Anywhere on the print. Is there a message attached that they don't want written on the print?
Then it says, could you please write wretched thing, pull yourself together on the front with your signature, Dirge and Gortash forever, in a heart on the back.
I think Fluffy's actually in the chat right now.
Oh, ask Fluffy. Do I do it on the back or the front? Or behind on the back? Or do I just...
Or down the edge?
Fluffy, what do you want?
That edge.
Whatever Neil said, to you.
It's the Midwest goodbye. Sorry? So Blair, tell me, lovely. What am I right? I'm not writing Fluffy. I put...
Okay, here it is. It's in the chat.
Right, yeah, but it
Quote
goes so quick.
front.
I can't... Quote on the front, Dirge and Gortash on the back, my name not needed on the print. But Fluffy, no one will know it's for you. You will know. Brilliant. Isn't that clever, having someone actually there? That's such a relief. I hate getting these things wrong. It's like when you do a cameo, and I always ask, how do you say that name? Because the last thing I want to do is get it wrong. And yeah, so anyway, but it's
I've had people phonetically spell out the pronunciation of their name.
Phonetically wouldn't work for me because I'm useless at phonetics.
But they spell it out. They spell it out in phonetics, and then I get it wrong. And I studied phonetics. Like I know the phonetic alphabet, so I'm reading it, going, "You're speaking my language here," and then just get it completely. I'll save it.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you do it again.
Just to take some heat off of you, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I know, I meant do the cameo again, not get it wrong again. Right, so let's see. Wretched thing, pull yourself together. Talk. Thank you for being on for so long, Ethan. You talk while my head disappears.
I'm a good waffler. I'm an improvising dream. Oh God! I tell you what, I've got a story about something that happened to me in a play once that I was going to tell the other day on stream, and I didn't get round to it. But I was once doing Much Ado About Nothing in an open air theatre, about 500 people in the audience in the middle of summer, and it was one of the. For anyone that's not from or doesn't live in England, the weather here is mostly a shade of grey. But then once every 3 years, we get a summer from hell, and it is just dangerous. It's just horrific. It's so hot, and it was one of those years. And I was doing Benedict, and Benedict is this kind of foppish romantic who's like, I'm not in love. I'm completely. And the joke is that he falls completely in love. And there's a bit where he comes onto the stage by himself and delivers this massive soliloquy, this massive speech about about how he thinks love's so silly. And so I walk onto stage all by myself, and I say my first 2 words, and someone in the audience shouts, "She's dead!" And so I stop speaking, thinking, I'm not that bad, am I? And then someone goes, "Is there a doctor in here?" Someone else stands up and goes, "I'm a doctor." Runs over to this woman who is...
No, seriously?
Yep. Who is on her side. Oh my God, I thought
you were... Oh.
No. So this doctor runs over. I'm on stage by myself. The crowd starts talking to themselves. And I think, if I go over, the only point of focus is this woman, is this situation. I'd rather stay here and be it like... kind of like a host and hopefully like take some attention away. It turns out the woman hadn't died. Turns out the woman had fainted and was unresponsive, and the person looking for her pulse had looked for it over her coat. So, which is she'd passed out from heat stroke, and the person couldn't find her pulse. So this person then gets up, leaves, and everyone like applauds. The whole time I'm looking for the stage manager thinking, why is no one coming out to say anything? And the stage manager is in the wing smoking a cigarette and gives me the hand gesture for, "Oh, come on, once I finish this, lad. You just stay there. Let me just finish my cigarette." I went a shade of red and then a shade of white. And then I think once she'd left, I said out loud, "I didn't think I was that bad, ladies and gentlemen." I got a little chuckle, and I was like, that was pretty bleak. Anyway, I do much wonder how one... And then went straight back into the speech. And
I was doing Winnie the Pooh on stage at the Manchester Palace Theatre. I was playing Christopher Robin. There's a couple of stories around this, to be honest, unfortunately. It's not as... It's me dying on stage as opposed to the audience dying. I first of all, they bleached my hair, and it was really dark. And so my roots were showing. And I looked more like Tigger within a week as opposed to Christopher Robin. So they gave me a big blonde wig that looked like a mop. And I had to take the honey pot off Pooh's head. And I fell backwards. And I fell down his hole. No, his hole, as in there was a trap door that opened. And I fell down into Winnie the Pooh's home under the stage. I fell about 20 feet. And I smacked my head on the underneath stage, but because I had this wig on, it saved me. It was like this big cushion. And then you got me going back up, like my little fingers crawling back up. And then the opening night at the Manchester Palace, Pooh's legs fell off. He had this big sort of, it was made with bamboo. This big costume made him look huge, and his legs detached from his body, and you could see these little hairy legs of the actor underneath in the costume, and the audience laughed a lot, and he went off stage. And there's a full house. I mean, in Manchester Palace, about 2,000 people just staring at me. So similar to you, what do you do? And the stage manager was inexperienced, because really all they should do is bring the curtain down and we start again. But I was standing there, possibly only for a minute or two, but what felt like ages.
Or ever.
But nothing, because I didn't have a speech that I was supposed to say at this point. It was Pooh's lines. And I was far too young and nervous to improvise. I stood there and stared at 2,000 people for possibly 5 or 6 minutes until Pooh's legs were put back and Pooh waddled on again. So, in fairness, I wish I had that point gone down Pooh's hole and disappeared.
That's when you dive down. Yeah, that's when you elbow drop your way through the stage.
And we had a revolve. It was a revolving stage, and it was a mechanical thing with a big handle and a wheel. And all you could hear as we were going through the 100-acre wood was. Oh my gosh, personal nightmare. Stop saying that, Neil. The Pooh. Oh, yeah, sorry, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, those.
That will be taken out of context.
Yes,
that will be clipped. Yeah.
Anyway, carry on talking. No, this is. Wait, hang on. Well, this is for. Oh, this is the fluffy one. Fluffy. There you go. There is your line. And look on the back. Dirge and Gortash forever. Now, this one, though, this is to no one. Something lovely and unhinged, but with a heart. So I've done the heart. So something, I love it. Lovely and unhinged. So, Ethan, you are going to choose what sounds lovely and unhinged.
I have a quote that I live by, which is lovely and unhinged.
No, but it's the Dark Urge quote, you ninny.
Oh, right. I have no idea then.
Oh, no, well, give me your quote. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't need to put one of
some people will know what's coming, but
is that the quote?
No.
All right.
The quote is: "Eat well, shit strong, do not fear death."
I like that. They may be really unhappy that I don't use it. So I'm going to give you a couple of. It's a brilliant one, but it's not a dirge one, and I'm very conscious, much like the cameos, that if I put that on it, they might be huge. They may be thrilled, or
there'll be litigation.
They could be really disappointed, saying, "No, I wanted a dirge quote." So, are you ready? Still in control, just. I'm awake mostly. I'm getting really tired now. I'm awake mostly. Your brain juices are sticky and sweet. I have a lot on my mind and in it.
The sticky and sweet brain juices is really strong.
Your brain juices, sticky and sweet. I'm going to use that.
Because the sweet's lovely, you know? I think it brings a positive spin. Maybe it's a compliment.
I think in the game, the dirge squeezes someone's body part. Or maybe it's a tadpole, you have to tell me. And it, is it that point? You know what? I was talking to someone on a stream. It was an interview. And I gave a couple of lines of the monologue. And they weren't from the monologue at all. They were from somewhere else. I just thought, I know nothing at all. So anyway, I will write that. Getting stuck with you. No, where is it? Your brain juices. Your brain juices, sticky and sweet.
There's some great text in Baldur's Gate, isn't there? There were some great lines.
Yeah, there were. I think, the writing is staggering. There you go. Your brain juices are sticky and sweet and a heart.
Are you a Londoner?
I've been around a bit. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, that's the... Yeah, good grief. Fluffy, you're getting this shown 1,000,000 times. Why do you ask? Do you want to come round for tea?
Well, it depends. Can you cook?
Actually. A little.
I was interested I was interested by how many of the actors from Baldur's Gate weren't from London, because there is such a stigma that to be in the industry you have to live in London.
So do you mean they're not? I am still here. Do you mean they are not from London in that they don't live in London and record, or they're not from London, their accents, etc.?
I think there's a narrative that if you want to be in the industry, you have to live in London. You don't have to be from it, but
well, it's probably convenience, and they don't pay for travel, whatever. So I imagine the majority of people are based. In fairness, the majority of actors are based around London because of the logistics and the practicality of it, and even just the auditions, etc. I've been on tour in theatre shows, 300 miles away, and having to get a train down to London for my 5-minute interview, and then get a train back again for the evening show. So I think that there's just a logistical thing.
I once had an audition while I was away doing a show, and the audition was the most ludicrous breakdown I'd ever received. They said, Stormzy is throwing an album launch party. We want you to announce the album drop. Wow. We want you to record the sound for the party, the album launch party. Yeah. Your voice is gonna hype up the album. Can you come to London tomorrow morning? And so I was like, okay, is this for definite? And they were like, no, it's a maybe, but can you just come to London? So I was like, well, no, I can't, but how about I record it from my studio I've brought with me on tour? Oh. And they were like, brilliant. And then I think they were like 2.5 hours late to the call. And then my agent rang me and were like, they've ghosted us. It's gone.
No.
Yeah, and it went. But there was a brief window where in another world I collabed with Stormzy.
Would you think it was for Fortnite? Stormzy was on Fortnite the other day. He was on? No, there wasn't. Oh, it was not Stormzy. Please, it's on someone else.
Another musician.
Yes.
It was George Michael.
Someone's going to tell us here. George Enjoyers. That sounds even worse, Blair. Why do they keep talking? I haven't heard you say a word for ages, Blair. Why are they complaining about you? Hello?
George Wiltshires.
I am here. My mother is just yapping.
Your mother's yapping.
Yapping's a technical word. It's industry lingo for anyone that wants to take that down.
Right, everyone. This is my last photo. This is to Nate. We are going to write "They're dying for me," all of them. What a brilliant bit of writing. They're dying for me.
The yappening. I like that.
All of them. Wait, it says, and one of your magnificent little dirges. I think magnificent may be pushing it.
A magnificent little dirge. What was the first video game that you worked on?
There's gosh. That's to Nate with a where's the dirge face? Oh, there we are. With the doodle.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog.
To be frank, it will probably make do for all of the games I've done. This is to Cody. Cody got a cameo, and once, so I put my favourite quote: "Keep giving them you until you is what they want." I actually learnt that when I was in America. I think as an actor, often you sort of try and take everything that the director says and translate it and turn yourself into something that you're not, as opposed to this is my version of. And what makes me unique is that you element. And I think an awful lot of the time we lose that you part sometimes, and we want to please others. We adapt so that we lose that identity. And all of that history of ourselves, all of that gunny sack of all of our life has created you now. And so I'm a firm believer of that relishing that uniqueness and relishing that element of you.
Yeah.
I'm Cody. So I wrote that, and I hope that's helpful. It has helped me for many years.
And also,
yes, sir.
Nothing you could craft or create can be as deep as your experience. It just can't be.
Yeah.
You'll never make a character as interesting as you.
That's really, yes. Yes, because I do sometimes think that when you mould yourself, it's not even mould, it's almost as if you mould yourself out of yourself.
Yeah, it's like you hide yourself.
Your own identity disappears as opposed to actually relishing that. And certainly the majority of creative people have their work is that identity, that separateness to others. But I think we can do it in all of our life with people that we meet, etc. And I think it gives you value within yourself when you think in that way. And I think we all need value in all of our lives, in all parts of it, because I think it's really difficult to, when we don't, we get we lose our energy, etc. When we're not like that. Anyway, Ethan. I have had an amazing time. You have been on for almost an hour, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that we get to chat some more another time. I've been hugely impressed with your career to date, and I'm sure there will be much, much more in the offering very, very soon.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for sharing your quips and your wisdom.
Well, and yeah, my
Before
nonsense
you go,
of chatter.
Neil, would you mind if Ethan discuss what he's doing tomorrow?
Ethan, what are you doing tomorrow, lovely?
Tomorrow, I will stream, and I'll be playing some Baldur's Gate 3, a little game some of you may have heard of.
Oh,
and I'll
is
be
it any good?
There's some recasting they could really do around some of the central characters, but other than that, there's this like Dream Stalker. I don't know.
That's a terrible title.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds a terrible, terrible game. No, we can't say that. They'll take that out of context. Baldur's Gate 3, a wonderful game.
The one after.
Ethan, what time is your doodah on tomorrow?
I believe I am starting at 8 o'clock.
British summertime.
Yes, British summertime. Greenwich Mean Time.
No, Greenwich Mean Time is the hour before.
Okay, British summertime, BST.
So it's 7 o'clock GMT and 9 o'clock BST, and wherever else you are in the world. Is that wrong, Ethan?
You said 7 and 9. So what's happening at 8?
Did I really?
Which one's correct?
Well, just take potluck. Ethan is on tomorrow night at some. In fairness, we were supposed to start this at 7:45, and at 7:15, Blair sent me a message saying, "The red carpet's almost finished. It's starting at 7. We've got the timings wrong." So we ended up coming on at 7, and I have been. That's 4 hours. Right, 4 hours of talking nonsense. I hope everyone joins your stream tomorrow. Ethan.
I'll be out there somewhere, guys.
You look after yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, mate. Pleasure to chat with you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Ah, what a lovely guest. Oh, he's still there. It was lucky I was nice about him, wasn't it?
Oh, that idiot. That guy.
Hang on. Let me see if signing. Is this the right one? No. Is it that one? Is it that one? Is it that one? Ah, here we are. This is the one we want. So, I really appreciate anyone who joined. I got very confused about many things. Thank you this is not the most flattering of things, is it? Thank you very much for joining this extended stream of nonsense. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Blair and the whole of the Dream team for helping me create this and be a part of the BAFTAs. Also to all of those guests who are wonderful, wonderful actors and generous people. I'm so sorry that Scott could not talk to us, but I'm sure you'll all agree that they looked brilliant in their tux. And go Baldur's Gate. It's been a wonderful evening. And oh, this tab disagrees. Try I can't read things quick enough. Thank you very much for joining us. Baldur's Gate is an extraordinary game. The community is wonderful, and I am thrilled and honoured to be part of a BAFTA winning game, and more importantly, part of a community that are so supportive. So next time we will be playing Baldur's Gate as the Dark Urge, and as you can see, I'm a little bit anxious about that, so I will fiddle with my fidget dinosaur. Having said that, I realised during this I've been fiddling with this a lot. It's my wedding ring, and it's a fidget one. It goes around in circles. I can spin it. So
I love
yeah, so
that is amazing.
I carry my own fidget around with me the whole time. Blair, you have been wonderful. I hope you sleep well, and I certainly will.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a time. I'm going to be promptly passing out after this.
Oh, sweetie, you've been lovely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Take care, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.